Hello, welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I am a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. How's it going? Pretty good here. I'm going to be straight with you. I haven't got much knitting done on a lot of things, only a little bit, and some of it is the same old from yesteryear, or last week. So I decided to show a few different finished objects that I finished a while ago, and I don't remember exactly when, but let's say I'm going to start off with this blue shawl. This is made out of Lion Brand Pound of Ease. I used a full one and then a partial of one, and it is extremely big. So you start at one end at the I-cord, and you do that for a while, and then you do the tab, and then you knit across to this other side. You do the tab, and then you do the I-cord. This pattern is not identical to the pattern in the book. Now, I bought this book, Jane Austen Knits. Oh, get out of this. There you go. I got this before 2020. Probably got it in 2019, maybe 2018. I found it off of Amazon. What I used to do at that time was go to the library. I would meet my yarn knitting group, and then I would always look at the books that they had there, and then I would find them online and buy the ones I wanted. That's how I got my Ann Budd books and a whole bunch of others. So I got this because I always liked the Jane Austen stuff, and I thought, ooh, to have some of these shawls and whatnot. Now, I do and do not like this book. I did make a different shawl, which I could not find. It's probably in another bin downstairs, but it's not size inclusive really, although it has a beautiful little baby's bonnet. Some of these outfits are just beautiful. Now, I decided I wanted to do the Sensible Shawl. I just thought it would be nice to wear. You have those tabs so you can do it. But if you see this picture right here, I'll hold it steady. You see that it's called a Van Dyke. And I don't know if it's correct. And I could not figure out the chart at all. It did have a little bit of information in the book, but not a lot. It says repeat last 2 rows until 9 repeats of the Van Dyke border R chart is complete. Then work 10 more rows, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't figure it out. I was pretty new at knitting, and I think when I was making this, the shutdown started, so I didn't have anyone to like talk to about this that knew more. I looked up different Van Dyke patterns, and I couldn't figure it out at all. And then it dawned on me, well, I don't have to do the Van Dyke part of this shawl. I can still make the shawl, but not do the Van Dyke pattern. I'm going to show a picture if I can see how it looks with the little thing. So I just left that part off because I understood the rest of the pattern, and it is massive. Granted, it is acrylic, so acrylic grows, but it is quite warm. And another fun thing about this pattern is that this is the first pattern I started to do continental knitting on because it took forever. I mean, it's a huge shawl. It took forever to knit, and my hands were getting tired. I think I used a US 8. I'm not 100% sure. But it's a beautiful shawl. It's just garter stitched the entire way. And then, I don't even remember how I did it. I mean, the pattern will tell you, of course, but I think I did a slip stitch on each side. Kind of looks like it. And so you just increased and then decreased and did the tabs. The tabs were really fun. I really enjoyed that part. FYI, my cats are crazy right now. They have been for the last few days. I don't know if it's the weather change. I don't know why. Maybe they're bored. Hello, baby. So this was, I know I made mistakes in here because I can even see it right here. Like I would forget to do the slip stitch, but it took a long time. I think I was watching some, like, when I look at this, I remember I was watching the Menendez brothers movie, and when that came out. I grew up in the 80s, so that was a huge thing back then, and it still is today. So this was a labor of love. I don't use it very often because it is so big. I might leave it out more now because, you know, it's going to get cold. And it's kind of nice to sit there and get wrapped up. Maybe my daughter will use it. It's a beautiful blue color. It is acrylic, so I'm not really worried about like food getting on it because I can wash it and dry it relatively easy. This book is not very size inclusive, I found. There's also some other, what's the word I'm looking for? Errors in patterns. I will show you. I really want to make this. I don't know if I ever will, but it is so cute. It's a teapot cozy. There is this one shawl. I don't want to say the name. It's beautiful, and it has like this texture to it. And here's a better picture. Has this beautiful, get it out of the glare. Has this beautiful texture to the shawl. Maybe now that I know how to read charts better, I can figure it out. But the chart is not easy to read. And I think there was some errors to it. Like I just didn't understand what they were talking about. I am not 100% sure. So I don't know if I'll ever make that, but I did make this. Oh, still have the yarn thing in here. I did make this shawl, and it turned out really pretty. I used Lion Brand's Mandala woolly, so it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So I had that variant, and it has this beautiful lace detail. I'm seeing if I can. So each row had that lace detail, and then you just, you know, up and down. It turned out really nice. Here's a nice picture of it. It turned out really nice. The yarn, though, did I use it this? Yeah, I must have. The yarn was a little bit scratchier than I intended. For some reason, I think I used a different yarn. I thought I used a Hobby Lobby yarn of alpaca. So I don't know if I used, I know I used this on other things, but I don't know if I used it for this project because I don't have it with me and I can't double check. It was relatively easy. However, he knew the lace I screwed up and had to rip it all apart, I think twice. Like I would get like so far and I'd make a mistake and I'd have to rip it all the way and start over. One time I remember I was like a good 2 feet into it and I had to rip it all out and I was really upset. But I did learn a lot, and that's when I started using lifelines. So this is a kitschy book, I'll say that. There's some nice patterns in here that I would like to do. There's bags, there's other garments, there's baby stuff, there's garments for men, but size-wise, I just found that it was not real size inclusive. I can't read it. I should get my glasses. But, you know, it's kitschy. It was very popular at that time. I don't know if I would ever wear any of the sweaters. I mean, I do like this a lot. Like to wear to bed or around the house. It's a bed. It's a Barton Cottage shrug. I don't know if it would look good on me, but it's very cute. So I did that. And then I was really into shawls at that time. And I was watching a YouTube video. And this lady, I don't even remember what it was. This lady was like, you can do a shawl with 1 skein of yarn on the bias. I did add the I-cords because I thought that would be fun. And it would give it a little bit more length for wrapping it around yourself. People wear shawls a lot differently than what I grew up with. I mean, everybody wore shawls around themselves, you know, like around their shoulders. Nowadays, people use them as large scarves. I don't know if I like that personally. I don't know if I could with this because of the I-cords, although the cats really think this is fun to play with. So, I can't even find it. Anyway, this is another Lion Brand Mandala yarn. I mean, it's kind of cute. I don't know. I'm having a hard time. Things around my neck make me go insane. Okay, I have to be really careful about things around my neck because I have an aversion to it. Sometimes I'm okay, and other times I know I'm not choking, but in my mind, I am choking. Okay, so shake it off. It is pretty. It is really pretty. This is, I think it's acrylic. I don't think this is Woolies. I think this is just one of their acrylic ones. So I started on one end and it went really fast. And then you get to a certain point and then you just start. Now, how did that go? I think you'd make it like this. You start on a point down there, and then you just increase, and you always have this as the straight edge and this as the increase edge, and you just keep knitting until you're done. And then when you turn it around, you have a scarf or a shawl. So that was fun. And then I was a little bummed that I didn't make it long enough in my mind at the time to like wrap around myself, because I was still thinking shawls wrap around your body, and that is why I made I-cords and sewed them on. So that was easy, very easy. I have no idea what YouTuber or website that brought me to YouTube, but I saw it and I thought, well, I can just do that. So it was like very, very simple. Now, the last finished object I'm going to show is, I should try and put it on, but I don't know. It looks like a dress, but it's not. It's a bridal wimple from 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 my Norwegian Handknits book. I feel like an old lady in it. So it's a bridal wimple. So they would use this like at their wedding. And I'll show you in a sec. I used Lion Brand's Woolies. It has this beautiful lace detail. Just hold it out like that. I mean, it is really, really, really pretty. It is super warm. I feel like I'm an old lady with the babushka on. So it's beautiful. It does remind me of a dress, you know, like a skirt. I have never worn it. It was I wanted to make it because I wanted to teach myself certain things. First was the lace detail, which is, it's a repeat pattern. It's very pretty. I employed lifelines, lots of lifelines. And then once I got up to here, it was super simple. You just make a tube and then you do, it looks like 1x1 ribbing. I got this was a book that I found at the library. And then I went online and I found it. I took the jacket off because it was always coming off anyway. But it's Norwegian Handknits by Flanders and Kosel. Yeah, Sue Flanders and Janine Kosel. Now, I do not remember how much it was, but it's a fun book because it's rose or bridal wimple. I'm gonna show you a picture. So she has roses on hers. So there is some color work detail, but I wasn't confident on color work at that time. And you got very little information. Very little. They did give you a chart for the color work, but you got very little information. And so you just had to like trust the process, which was really hard for me at the time. So that was one of the things I wanted to teach myself. But this book is really interesting because it has a lot of history. Okay, I don't want to show too much, but it has a lot of history. So I'm a lot of different nationalities because, you know, melting pot of America. But I am Norwegian, the British Isles, and Italian for the most part. There's other stuff, but so you get the point. And so there is a lot of history for this. There is, you know, like here's the steeking stuff. It is a really interesting book. That is the only pattern I have made from it. You know, because your attentions get taken other places, but I remember one of the other knitters made Ruth's cap. And he did a provisional cast on, and I was like, oh, you're so brave. I still have not done the provisional cast on, but there's all kinds, like they show you these historical pictures of workday shawls. I think I remember looking at this because of the Van Dyke pattern, but they do some felting in here. It's all very traditional. It's very cool, to be perfectly honest. I love the motifs, like they have the original mittens. Patterns are good. A lot of things, they do a lot of wrist warmers. I don't want to show too much. It's really hard to like show this book because there is a lot of patterns at the same time of showing, you know, the pictures. I just like seeing how, like, ooh, all these old photographs. So I think that's really cool. It was a fun book. I remember it being kind of spendy, and I don't even know if they still make it. My cuckoo for kitty cats is over there. There's lots of mittens and other jackets and shawls and pillows and whatnot. I'll just show the back. So, and this bag is in there as well. Beautiful. So I made those a long time ago, and since I don't have much going on with, you know, we're gonna go into WIPs. I was at 14 dishcloths last week, and I made 5 more, actually 5.5. I made 5.5 more dishcloths, so I'm at 19 presently. And it is, you know, parts are real easy. I've been really busy this past weekend, so I didn't get a lot of knitting done because on Friday I went out to an apple orchard near my home right after work, and I always buy seconds from them, and seconds are like, they have blemishes or bruises, or they got nicked, and so they're not the most pristine of apples. And I get them because I dehydrate apples and I use them throughout the year in my food or just as a snack. I make the ball recipe freezer apple pie. My dog is chewing on something. The freezer method for apple pie filling, because you can't can apple pie filling with flour. And I tried canning apple pie filling about 3 years ago, and it was the jars, most likely. I was really confident. I had done a lot of jams. I did some salsa. I was really gaining my confidence on canning, and I was doing water bath canning. And so I made it, and the jars that I bought were from Farm and Fleet. It's a local store around here, and they were crappy jars. On the website, you know how you always can leave like star reviews, and it got nothing but 1 star. I think you have to put a star on there just to leave a review. The jars were warped. I still have them, and I use them for dry goods or freezer stuff only. And then the lids. So I made, the lids all came off. So the lids came off, and I ruined a ton of apples in the canner, and I was really bummed because that's a lot of money no matter how you look at it. And I wasted money on jars. I wasted money on electricity. I wasted money on apples. So I've been kind of nervous about canning apple pie filling since then. But I found the freezer recipe in this ball canning book. I got this years ago. They probably have the same recipe in other versions of the book. And it works out great because I just put it in. I do put it in glass jars, but I don't fill them all the way up. And then I put them in the freezer, and so far, the last 3 years, knock on wood, they've all survived. And then they last for a while, and then I just take a jar out. Say I make some pie crust, I take it out, I add cornstarch at that time, even though it does have some flour in the recipe itself. Once it thaws, it kind of gets a little bit too runny for my taste. So I just add some corn starch that I bought. I think I got, I can't remember. It's a non-GMO. I found it off of Amazon. I saw someone online, like a homesteading video, and they were talking about it. Then I found it and I bought some. Anyway, then I just add a little bit of that to that, put it in the thing, makes perfect pies. Anyway, besides that, I made 2 apple crisps. So I made 3 batches of the apple pie filling, 2 apple crisps, and 3 batches of the apples. The ones I bought, they didn't have full bushels of either of them. So I got 3/4 of a bushel of Wealthy apples, and then I got probably 1/3 of a bushel of Empire. And I love Empire apples. They're small, they're tart, they're sweet, they're crisp. They're so good. So I was really busy doing that. It really makes me happy to spend time in the kitchen. And I was thinking about how I'm exercising my brain because I am using both hands to do all this, and I'm very ambidextrous when it comes to the kitchen because I have worked in restaurants for a really long time, and I enjoy cooking and baking and whatnot. So then, even though I did all of that this weekend, I thought on Sunday night I should make some banana chocolate chip muffins. So we get rid of these bananas that are overripe. And my daughter eats those for breakfast. So I didn't really get to too much of my knitting. I would take breaks. I did do some dishcloths. I worked on my upcycle alpaca sleeve cardigan. Nell, were you chewing on yourself? Yes. Yes, Mama, I was chewing on myself. You heard? Here comes Nell. Oh. She's right here, but you can't see her because she's... Oh, there she is. Hello. Oh, she's not... No, don't knock over the coffee. Yes, I know. You are so good. So, one thing... You are so beautiful. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So, yesterday... Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think so. Today is Wednesday. This will come out on Saturday. You need to get out now. I don't want you to knock over my coffee. So, I have been wanting to knit some fingerless mitts for myself, and I really want to knit the color work ones that I showed last week. And I thought, I think it was yesterday, I woke up and I'm like, I need to do that. That was like my first thought. I need to do it. Okay, so upon reading the instructions again, I found out that for all of these patterns, I'm trying to find the gauge area. For all these patterns, you need a gauge of, I believe, 17 stitches in 22 rows to measure 2 by 2 inches or 5 by 5 centimeters. And I thought, okay. And she uses a 1.5 millimeter needle, which is in US terms a 000. I do have a 000. I think they're 8 inches long though. Now, I thought, okay. So I was thinking about this on my walk with my dog because I woke up in the morning and I was like, I want to do this. I should do this. Another thing before I tell you about the walk is that she suggests, right here, where is it? Okay, so she suggests somewhere in here that in order to do your gauge swatch, instead of making a whole thing of mittens or, you know, whatever, she suggested that you do wrist warmers. And then you can, you know, figure out if you're doing the right thing. And wrist warmers are like this. So, you know, easier, and yet you can, you know, judge how big everything is for your gauge swatch. So then, I just wanted to read that part. Now I can't find it. Anyway, does it really matter? No. She suggested doing a wrist warmer to test out your gauge. Now, I thought, okay, cool. And then I found one that I want to do, and then that's similar enough to the fingerless mitts that I want to make. So I was walking my dog, and I was, thinking about, well, it's 17 stitches per 2 inches, which is technically 8.5 stitches per inch. And I'm like, okay. I use a US 2, which is a 2.75 millimeter, to do my socks. And I'm wearing a pair right now. And I get 7 stitches per inch using Patton's sock yarn, which is technically a fingering weight. Some of them are a little on the thicker side, but this one pair that I'm wearing right now was a thinner yarn, and I did get 7 inches or 7 stitches per inch. So I thought about it, and I have these sets. I bought 2 of these sets a long time ago, I think in 2018. And they're the Knitter's Pride Zings. They're in different packaging now. Knitter Pride Zings, and they are a blunted tip, but they come with 6 different styles or sizes of needles, all the way from a US 3 all the way down to a 0. So I thought, well, if I'm getting 28 stitches or 14 stitches per 2 inches on my socks, do I really need to go all the way down to a 000 or a 1.5 millimeter? Or could I just get gauge using my zeros? Or what is it, 2 millimeter? I don't remember. And it's so tiny. Sorry. Oh, it's so hard to see. Yeah, it's a 2 millimeter. So I started. I figured it's just a wrist warmer. If it's wrong, I can always size down. This is leftover yarn from my mosaic cowl, and I love these 2 colors. This is Knit Picks palette in the color Pool and Orange. I have a lot of the orange and very little bit of the pool. My thought is, if I do make this and it does match the gauge, then I will see where I'm at with the blue. I am not buying more blue at this present moment. I'll see how much I have of the blue, either start the second one in blue if it's correct, or redo it because I want to just use up my leftovers. So I'm in the colorwork pattern right now. It's really fun, and I was kind of nervous about doing this. In her book, she states that you can't do magic loop with her patterns. I don't know if that is 100% true, but I don't know how to do magic loop anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm holding the blue yarn below and the orange yarn above to keep it organized. And she stated that her patterns are made to use all 5 needles. So you knit with this one and then boom, boom, boom. I was a little nervous because I haven't done color work using double pointed needles yet. And now I'm not as nervous because now I can do it. And now I'm excited. So I'm learning, because the laddering issues I was really, really worried about. But I'm not having, I know it's really small, you can't even see. But I'm not having any laddering issues at this present moment. So I just started this yesterday. it is a fun pattern. I'm doing the, let's see, Morning Star wrist warmers. It was the picture I showed earlier. I don't want to give too much away. So, what if they work out? What if I can get gauge with this set of needles? Well, then I would, if I had any of the blue left over, I would start with that. Okay, and then I have, what's it called? Briar Twist. I have some of my Briar Twist palette yarn left over, and I would just use that because they're wrist warmers, and it's just, they're not going to be like showpieces. It would just be like usable gauges. So that's my plan, and I love it. It's so much fun. I was working on this morning, and I finished the second row of the color work pattern, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do the next one. And I just happened to look at the time, and I'm glad I did because I had to get ready for work. And I thought to myself, what would I have done if I would be able to stay home the entire day? This would probably get done, or at least a large part of it would have gotten done, and I would have gotten done with at least another dishcloth or two because I want to get them done. But alas, I went to work, and it was very cold outside, and it was really nice to wear a sweater. I don't even know where I put it. I just wore my cotton poly sweater to match my outfit. It's the lace leisure arts cardigan that I made. I'll just hold up the back. It is very, I'm holding it upside down. It is very wide up front. I probably could have sized it. I probably could have done a smaller size, but it's fine. And the way I wear it, I don't ever button it really. And I kind of like that it goes like this around me. In fact, for my school picture this year, I wore this with a black top, and it's one of my best school pictures ever. So, you know, well, oh well. Anyway, let's see. That is about it. I am starting to do other things. I was rethinking of my plans. Is it really logical to get 25 dishcloths done this month? It is possible, but is it logical? Is it good for me to push myself to obtain that goal? Yes and no. Because yes, because then I got it done and I feel good. No, because there's so many things I want to be working on, and then I feel bad that I can't work on them, and that I am like punishing myself. Oh no, you can't make those wrist warmers. You have to do a dishcloth. Oh no, you can't finish your cardigan. You have to do the you know what I mean? So I'm sure that is a pretty common thing for makers, where you want to do something and yet you feel guilty, or you want to come up, or sad that you can't actually do it. Come here, come on, come on, come on. Can you see her? Hello. It's okay. I'm talking about you, hun. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, she's so pretty. So, you know, tomorrow I will be doing another ticket booth, and then maybe on Saturday as well. It depends if they win. I don't know. I don't really care. I like sports, but I also don't care that much. And I find that if I watch the Packers, they lose. And if I don't watch them, they win. So I don't watch them anymore. And then let's see what else is new. That's about it, really. The cats are doing well. The puppy's doing well. Tallulah's paw is healed. And the weather is getting chillier and it's been raining on and off. And it's been, do you want this? She wants her antler, which she got as a baby puppy and has hardly used. It kind of looks like a little stovetop pipe. There you go. You want it? Okay. She's not a real big chewer. She has a real gentle mouth. She's a good dog. She's so good. We've gone on for lots of nice walks. It's beautiful to walk in the fall in those, mornings that are just crisp and you can almost see your breath, or you can see your breath, and then the trees are just gorgeous, and we're in pretty close to being done with the color changes. Although in my yard, all our maples are really close together, so they're always really late to turn, or they just turn yellow. My one maple out front actually has a bit of red in it this year, so that is pretty to look at. Other than that, not really much is going on. I will continue with my goal of dishcloths and watch some good shows while it's on, so I don't feel like bored. Like when you get engaged in something, you can just keep on going. So off I go to make food for my daughter and I. Off I go to do the things that need to get done and hide the stuff that needs to be hidden because of kitties being sassy and whatnot. So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking and commenting on my videos. I truly appreciate it. And I hope you're all doing well. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.